everybody of the internet. My name is Shadow Hunter, and welcome back for part 2 of What If Deku Was Kamen Rider Skull and Joker. Now, recap on last episode. And last episode was my first ever What If. I explained everything. And in this universe, Izuku was expelled at UA. I know. I have a feeling in the future comments, people will start dissing me like, oh, why are you doing that to Deku? Why are you expelling him? Look, I get it. I get it. You're all angry. Some of you are like, it's alright, you know? And, yeah. So, last time, Deku was testing out his new acquired items. The Skull Gaia memory, Joker Gaia memory will be used shortly. And he found an Excel USB along with the Excel belt. Now, I made sure people put in the comments to let me know who uses it, anyone, and none of you have actually done that. So, I'm going to do it myself since people are asking for me to do more. Now, for this person to use Excel, it's got to be someone who has with a weak quirk or a quirkless person. So, in this universe, I think I might give it to someone that no one expected. I'm giving it to... let's give it to... The only person I can think of is Shinzo. Because everyone knows Shinzo has brainwash. And the only way to get someone to talk to him if he replied to his question. Now, I think everyone was dissing on Shinzo in the anime, saying his quirk is a villain and stuff. So yeah. So in this universe, Deku is going to be two of the opposite coins. He'll play Skull as if I had to say, the villain side due to him having an ominous, creepy look. Joker being his heroine side, making sense since Joker is all blacked out and everything. And due to these two opposites, they're literally in the story. Skull being a dark rider, while Joker being a normal Kamen Rider. Now, let's get on. In this episode of What If Deku Was Kamen Rider Skull and Joker, Deku literally felt the experience of controlling his quirk a bit more. The last episode, I said he controlled it to 10 to 12%. This is going to be interesting. Through the rest of the anime, on the hero train, and everyone knows the hero train, Izuku was expelled and he cannot participate. So he mostly spent most of his time training and trying out the different gears. Now, since he has two lost drivers, he knows that he needs someone to play the hero or the villain role for him. But he decided to hire that driver, a backup just in case. Now, he decided to go train, not only testing out the power of the Kamen Riders, but also testing out his new gear. Now, if I remember correctly in the anime, Skull has a pistol, which Deku doesn't know that. So when he was testing out his powers of Skull, he actually pulled the pistol. He was surprised and like, whoa, where did this thing come from? So Izuku figured that if he's going to be fighting, he may as well get some long-range attacks with him. So he decided to practice aiming the gun. At first, he was a little bit hesitant, since he doesn't know how to shoot a gun. But when he first pulled the trigger, he actually hit a bullseye. Now, it got him confusing because he never held a gun before. But that got him thinking, what if the students gave him different abilities? For instance, Skull is a good fighter when it comes to close combat. Not only that, maybe the suit actually gives him auto aim. But no, he doesn't. See, the reason why Deku has good aim is due to him having a secret quirk. That's right, I'm giving him a secret quirk. He doesn't even know exactly. It's called adaptability. What it does, it lets him adapt to any situation. Not only making him more invincible to explosive, ice, environmental quirks, but also makes him more accurate in a way. Let's say you cut your finger, and let's say you cut your finger. It's bleeding a little bit, right? Now, adaptability quirk will instantly heal your finger and it will make your entire body a bit more sturdier to sharper objects. That's what it basically does. With this case, Izuku has a gun in his hand. He doesn't know how to aim it, but when he first tried it out, he instantly gets a bullseye, which makes sense. The drawback is that Izuku needs to focus more, basically putting all his mental power into something he's good at, his observation. In this one, I'm going to make him more quirked of our observant. Basically, he doesn't just focus on hero quirks, he focuses on villains and civilian quirks, seeing if things are interesting to him. Now, through the hero tree, we all know that Uraraka's by herself, and she has to fight against Ida and Bakyo. Bakyo, being who he is merciless. He doesn't let her go, and the villain team wins. And you all know Bakyo, I know in the story where he learns to accept others for his help and everything. But no, in this one, I'm making him more egotistical. He's more prideful, he's more angrier. He's too brash to even, think before he speaks. And so he stated that he's the strongest, no one can stop him. No one, nothing. And he's saying this to everyone. Everyone else kind of feels a little upset for Izuku, especially Uraraka and Ida, since they especially think he was a good friend. Now, after all this, Shinzo is moved. No, not Shinzo. I think Kendo. I think Kendo will replace Midori for the rest of the event until the USJ arc. Now, Izuku is out in the streets testing out his skills, getting experience fighting villains and everything else. He realized that there's less villains in his neighborhood and along with others. So he decided to do a little research. He captures some of the villains and tell them what's going on. Why aren't there any villains around this part? The goons think that he's just another hero. But, oh no. Izuku is Skull right now. He'll use Joker at the USJ event. Now, what they didn't expect was him to pull a gun at them and shoot them in the legs. That's right. If Izuku's going to be a vigilante, he's going to be brutal than heroes. So the goons decided to actually tell him that there's someone going around saying that there's going to be an attack at the USJ and they're finally going to kill All Might. Midori is a little surprised at this, saying, how does he do that? They decide to still, and then Shigaraki decides to spill the beans and say they got a Nomu, a modified destroyer of the symbol of peace, in which Izuku is surprised and livid. These guys are willing to kill not only All Might, but he realized the USJ is part of UA's facilities. And I believe if he kills one of the students, All Might would be terrible. Heroes will have to shut down UA and everything. So he decided to give him a little chance to run off. Oh, he didn't. He just knocked them the F out. While doing this, Ozawa realizes they're a new vigilante. And this villain, or vigilante, calls himself Kamen Rider Skull. And Aizawa was confused. Kamen Rider? The hell is that? Now remember, Kamen Riders were in the past, centuries ago, long time ago, before quirks were invented. And people realize this, and some people don't know what a Kamen Rider is, but from the older generations, they told them the stories of Kamen Riders. They were masked vigilantes in the past who helped people protect peace, and so on and so on. So people decided to call him Kamen Rider Skull, the hero of the night, because Midori comes out at nighttime a lot at Skull. He doesn't use Joker yet, not yet, because Joker's a daylight hero. Like I said, both are opposite sides, but work the same objective. Now, you might be wondering, what is Deku going to wear as his hero costume under the suit, under the armors? Well, obviously, as you can see on the picture, the bottom, he actually wears that outfit. He wears a red jacket, some red jeans, a white tie, black dress shirt, a black and red fedora, and he still has his signature red shoes, but he'll change those to black soon. Now, when Aizawa encounters Skull, he realizes that he's wearing armor and he doesn't see his face. So when Eraser tries to use his quirk, it does nothing. And then you might be wondering, can the villains in Midori use their quirks as Gaia memory monsters or Kamen Riders? The answer to that is no. They cannot use their quirks. So when Midori tries to use his quirk as Skull, he realizes there's a block blocking it. So he realized that, and that means other people cannot use their quirks. So it's a good thing. So they both had a little brawl. Aizawa went for the strike, trying to capture him in his tape. But remember, this is Midoriya. He observes everything, so he knows Eraserhead's tactics. And he decided to grab the scarf and pull him towards him. They both had a fist fight. I'm stuck at these fight scenes, so give me a sec to think about it. Alright, so Midori obviously pulled him into his fight and decided to fight him hand to hand. Now remember, Aizawa has more experience fighting villains and vigilantes. But since this is Kamen Riders, they adapt to everything, including Midoriya's quirk, which for some reason works with the suits. And so Midori decided to use some martial arts he learned a little bit from a book. They both brawl. They managed to get each other's hands and legs. But what Aizawa didn't expect was a skull bash from Izuku. And Aizawa decided to tell him why he's doing this. And Izuku decided to play a little villain monologue. Since Skull is a Dark Rider, he decided to tell him that society is flawed and he needs more heroes to do the work. He doesn't need a license to prove that he's a hero. Aizawa was confused and wondering why. Everyone needs a license if it were permanent to use their quirk. Izuku just laughed maniacally, stating that he's a past hero from a far distant past, where quirks didn't even exist, and stated that he's a hero, backed to make sure that nobody uses the same gear as him. As I was a little confused as to why, and he realized that there are a little bit more people transforming into beasts. He decided to say what those monsters were when they put the USB. Izuku decided to humor him and saying maybe he's going around town to make sure no one uses them. And Aizawa wants answers out of him because he knows something that he doesn't, nor the Hero Society. So Aizawa said to tell him what it was. Izuku decided to say he will not because he ruined his chance to become a hero. Aizawa was a little confused as to why. What do you mean? He decided to tell him. I was a student at UA, and everyone decided to push me away. You expelled me because of my liability, as you said. Well, guess what? I'm back from the dead, and I managed to come and take you down. No one can stop me. No one can. Eraserhead, or should I say, Shoto Aizawa. And the Eraserhead's surprised he knows his name. And he's trying to figure out what does he mean by expel, liability. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And so when Aizawa tried to fight him again, Izuku decided to finish him with Skull's finisher. And once that happens, Aizawa was almost knocked down. Izuku was on top of him, putting his foot on his chest, and stated that he would be the next hero to make sure no one dies, and to make sure those memories are destroyed as well. And so, with that, he walked away while Aizawa slipped into consciousness. Now back to Izuku's POV. After fighting the racer, he was a little banged up, but he managed to heal himself pretty quickly. Now, the USJ is starting pretty soon, but he needs time to prepare, think of a plan. He realized there's a UA student nearby his house, and he decided to tell him what he needs. So, you might be wondering who this student was. Well, actually, this is a 1B student, Yu Kaido. In the story of My Hero Academia, Yu Kaido actually lived above the floor of Midoriya, or that's just fanfic logic. Let me know down in the comments if I'm telling the location right. So he went upstairs and he realized Yu is not home yet. When he waited by the door about 5 minutes, Yu came by and she saw a person by her door. She was wondering who he is, and he decided to tell her a little bit about himself. He told him that he was an expelled UA student since his teachers think he has no potential. Yu was a bit surprised that he met an ex-UA student who was expelled, because she heard rumors that there was a student expelled from Aizawa, in which Yu thought was nothing but a rumor, but was actually true. She decided to stay while she's at his door, and he decided to state that he wants information about something. He heard around town that there were villains going missing. He heard one of them saying that they were heading to the USJ. He was wondering when it was the USJ time. Yu was a bit confused, but she realized that he's trying to warn UA about it. She decided to tell him that it starts in 3 days after the heroes train, and she stated that 1A will go first at the USJ. And Izuku realized that 1A has All Might as her teacher. So she decided to say thank you and make sure to tell this to anyone you trust. Yu was a bit confused, so Midori went downstairs. Yu saw something that he left behind, a little bag. She was a bit confused and she was about to go tell him, but he'd already left downstairs to his house or apartment. Yu decided to bring the bag in to make sure he gets it back. But what she didn't know was a second driver. But this driver was a bit different. Oh no. Apparently, Izuku found a way to merge 2 drivers to become... I don't know what the driver's name is, but I'll look it up later. So, she found something in the bag which has Cyclone in it. That's right. We're bringing back the OG. Now, she was a bit confused on why there's a driver in there, and she saw it was a lost driver. Now remember, Izuku has 2 drivers. He managed to figure out how to build a second one. Like I said in the previous, he's more smarter, so he managed to tinker with it and figured he could build a second one. So he built 2 drivers, a separate driver for Yu and a merged driver for him and Yu. And she was a bit confused, but she'll figure it out soon after UA. But she realized she can't leave it there because someone might take it, so she'll take it with her, just in case. Now back to Izuku. Izuku now knows that he gave the driver to Yu. Even though it was stupid, even though he was telling himself it was stupid, he'll think it's a good plan soon. And now he'll change things up. He'll need his maps to the USJ. So that way he not only help out the hero, but to make sure that his future partner will help him out. And he decided to build the actual gear for double. And that being the cell phone beetle, the bat camera, everything. He just needs to give the motorcycle handle driver to someone he can trust with. And with that, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and you already know the ship Yu x Izuku, since I have a feeling those 2 can get along with them having hero related stuff. And her hero costume reminded me of Ultraman. And Izuku's hero costume was supposed to be All Might, but it still looks like a bunny. And with that, that's gonna be it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed the second part of What If Deku Was Kamen Rider Skull and Joker. This is Shadow Hunter, hunting out. See you all later. Bye bye.